Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am.
It is good afternoon, not good morning. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are teaching lesson.
A very good afternoon. All of you mute your system. Whatever problems you have, we'll discuss after the class. Okay? I'll give you 5 minutes.
Ma'am, this is poem.
Yes. So now nobody is going to talk in the between. Okay? Yes. Okay. So the first question that I'm going to ask you is, have you ever been to a seashore? Yes. You all have been to the seashore. Yes. So, do you enjoy on a seashore? Yes, you all enjoy when you go to the seashore. So, today we are going to learn a poem. Its name is Coromandel Fishers. It's written by Sarojini Naidu. So, you can see on your screen the picture of Sarojini Naidu. Now, Sarojini Naidu was born in February 13, 1879 and died March 2nd, 1949. Maiden name Sarojini Chattopadhyay. Achievements: she was the first Indian woman to become the president of the Indian National Congress and the first woman to become the governor of a state in India. So, Sarojini Naidu, what are her achievements? She was the first Indian woman president, okay, of the Indian National Congress, and she also became the governor of a state in India. Sarojini Naidu was a distinguished poet, renowned freedom fighter, and one of the great orator of her time. Please mute your systems, dear children, and do not talk. Somebody's system is on. Mute your systems. She was famously known as Bharatiya Kokila, means the Nightingale of India. Okay, her father Agornath Chattopadhyay was a scientist and philosopher. He was the founder of the Nizam College. So her father, that is Agornath Chattopadhyay, has founded this college in Hyderabad. Its name is Nizam College. Sarojini Naidu's mother, Barada Sundari Devi, was a poetess and used to write poetry in Bengali. Sarojini Naidu was the eldest woman governor. Sarojini Naidu died in office on March 2, 1949 at the age of 57. So, dear children, now we move on to the poem. Okay, the Coromandel fisherman. Now, the title, that is a Coromandel, it is the name of a coast, okay, in South India. It's the name of a coast in South India, that is Coromandel. And fishermen, as you all know, those who catch fish, okay, they're known as fishermen. But the title here is Coromandel Fishers, okay, written by Sarojini Naidu. Now I will read the poem. Just carefully listen. Rise, brother, rise. The wakening skies pray to the morning light. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. Come, let us gather our nets from the shore and set our catamarans free to capture the leaping wealth of the tide, for we are the kings of the sea. Now, in this paragraph, the difficult words, I'll just tell you the meanings. Now, catamarans, you can see on your screen. Okay, there's a picture on the screen. Catamarans, log of wood tied together as rafts. So, this is known as a catamaran. Okay, then, so this was the one difficult word that we came across in this lesson. Okay, now rise, brother, rise. The wakening skies pray to the morning light. Now, what is the poet saying? He's saying, rise, brother, rise. Okay, he's describing the life actually of the fisherman. The poetess here, it is poetess because she's a woman who's writing the poem. So, the poetess describes the life of a fisherman. Okay, and the leader of the fishermen is giving a call to his comrades to start their work early in the morning. Okay, now he's saying, rise, brother, rise means the fishermen are called. Okay, the fishermen call their men to get ready to go to the sea. So the fishermen call their men because when they are going to catch the fish into the sea, they are a group of men who go. So the fishermen call the men to get ready to go to the sea. Okay, the second line, the wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. So, the early morning sky is compared to someone who is waking up from the sleep. The leader awakens other fishermen that the sun had already risen. And what is the next is the wind is not the wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn. So they're saying that in the early morning, the wind is asleep in the arms of the dawn. Dawn means the early morning, and the wind is sleeping like a child, okay, that has cried all night. So it is comparing the wind to a child. Come, let us gather our nets from the shore and set our catamarans free. So, what they're saying that come, let us gather. So, the fisherman, the leader, is calling his fishermen and telling, come, let us gather the nets from the shore and set our catamarans free. So, as I already told you, what is a catamarans means here? Catamarans means a log of wood tied together as raft. So they want to set this catamarans free. Okay, to capture the leaping wealth. Now, what is to capture? To collect the wealth from the tide, leaping wealth of the tide. Tide means the water that is rises either too much or it becomes too less. So when there is a tide, high tide, there is lot of fish, so they want to capture the leaping wealth. What is the leaping wealth? The fishes, okay, into the sea. So they want to capture the fish. So to capture the leaping wealth of the tide, for we are the kings of the sea. Now, who is the king of the sea? These fishermen, they are the kings of the sea. So this is the first paragraph. Is it clear? Next paragraph. Next paragraph. Okay. No longer delay. Let us hasten away in the track of the seagull's call. Now, the sea is our mother. The cloud is our brother. The waves are our comrades all. What though we toss at the fall of the sun, where the hand of the sea god drives? He who holds the storm by the hair will hide in his breast our lives. Okay, so here in the on the screen you can see the picture of a seagull. It's a bird, a common sea bird. Okay, and comrades means friends. Okay, and the word toss means move from side to side or up and down. So here, what are these lines saying? No longer let us delay, let us hasten. Now, hasten means hurry. The meaning of hasten means hurry. So, what is the fishermen call themselves as the king of the fish, as we already have said. Okay. Now, the leader hurries his colleagues. Colleagues means his uh, the fish other fishermen. He tells them, come fast. Okay. Let us not delay. He's saying, let us not delay. Let us hasten. Hasten means move fast, hurry. Okay, he's telling, let us hurry away in the tracks of the seagull's call. In the track means where the seagulls are there, they have to follow the seagull so that they can catch the fishes. The seagull is the bird that knows where the fishes are. So they fishermen move in the track of the seagull's call. Okay, then the sea is our mother. So what the fishermen are saying, the sea is a mother. They're saying, why are they saying sea is a mother? Because she's taking care of them. She's feeding them. The sea is feeding them. When they sell the fishes in the market, what they get? They get money. So sea is a mother. She's taking care of the fishermen. Okay, a relation that is shared here between the fishermen and the sea. So sea is our mother. Clouds, the cloud is our brother. Okay, the sea is our mother, the cloud is our brother. So they're calling the clouds as their brother. Okay, and the waves are our comrades. Comrades, as I already told, friend or companions, you can also say. So they're calling as a sea as a mother, cloud is our brother, and the waves are our comrades all. So, as I already told, the clouds, the waves, all of them share a close relationship like a mother, brother, and friends. And the last line is, okay, the next two lines. We, what though we toss at the fall of the sun? Okay, fall of the sun means at the sunset. The sea god is the controller of this. Okay, what though we toss at the fall of the sun, where the hand of the sea god drives. He who holds the storm by the hair will hide in his breast alive. So the sea god is the controller of the sea and he will protect these fishermen. Though their lives are in danger in the sea, the fishermen feel that the god is the controller of the sea and he and only he can protect them. So this is clear, dear children. Second paragraph.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us move to the third para. Sweet is the shade of the coconut glade. So, sweet is the shade of the coconut glade and the scent of the mango grove. And sweet are the sands at the full o' the moon with the sound of the voices we love. But sweeter are, brothers, the kisses of the spray and the dance of the wild foam glee. Row, brothers, row to the edge of the verse, where the low sky mates with the sea. Now, the meanings of the difficult words in this paragraph. Okay, now, as you all know, coconut, it's a coconut. Okay, here the spelling is COCANUT in your poem. That means coconut. Okay, next word, spray. Spray means the fine droplets caused by the water hitting the hard surface. Okay, then is verge, a piece of grass at the edge of something. Also, you can see on your screen you can see on your screen mango grove. Can you see? Okay, the shades of the coconut glade. You can also see. Yes, in your picture you can see also the shade of the coconut glade. Okay, then you can see the mango grove. Then what you can see? Foam. Okay, foam, mass of small white air bubbles in the liquid. So what is this paragraph telling? Sweet is the shade of the coconut glade. So the fishermen, they are always into the sea. Yes, but what happens, they also love the land. The fishermen also love the land. The shade of the coconut grow. They love the shade of the coconut grow. They also love the sweet smell of the mango grow. You know, when the flowers come to the mangoes, it smells. Also, when the mangoes are getting ripe, there's a smell. So, the sweet smell of the mango grow and the sound of the nature, they love this. Okay, these fishermen, they love the land. They love the sweet shades of the coconut. They love the scent of the mango grow, and sweet are the sands at the full. Oh, the moon with the sound of the voices we love. So the sounds made on the land, they love the sound of on the land. But sweeter, O brothers, the kiss of the spray and the dance of the wild foams glee. So, what are they saying? But more than the land, they love the waves and the foam, okay, of the sea, and more that is more appealing to them. That is more, they love that more than the land. Though they love the land, there's no question here, they love the land, but more than the land, they love the sea. Yes. What they say, the kiss of the spray, the water that falls, okay, and the dance of the wild foam glee. Now you can see the picture of the foam here. Can you see the picture? Yes. So what the poetess is saying, that the fishermen, they love the land, but more than the land, they love the sea. Okay, the kisses of the spray and the dance of the wild foam glee. Okay, last line. Row, brothers, row to the edge of the verse. So, as they are coming, as the sun is setting, and it is time to go back to the land. Okay, so it's saying, so brothers, row the boat to the edge of the sea. So, it's telling, bring boat to the edge of the sea. Okay, now this was the poem. So, everybody understood? Yes. So now one important thing. Now look at the screen. Look at the screen. Now what is this figure of speech? You have heard about part of speech in grammar, right? Now this is new for you. Figure of speech. In figure of speech, there are different types, but here we are going to learn personification. Then we are going to learn simile and metaphor. These, okay. Before we start with this, the rhyming scheme of the poem. Let us see the rhyming scheme of the poem. Okay, now what is the rhyming scheme? Now this is the last word in your poem, in your last paragraph, grow. Yes? So, grow is, should grow is rhyming with love. Rhyming with love? No. Yes. So it is A, grow is A, love is B. Now the word C in the third line is glee and C. Now glee and C are rhyming. Yes. So they are known as C and C because they both are rhyming. Now grow and love is not rhyming. So grow becomes A, love becomes B, glee and C are rhyming. So they become C and C. What they become? C?
C and B.
C and C. So A, B, C, C. What is the rhyming scheme of the last paragraph? Ah. So what is the rhyming scheme of the first paragraph? First paragraph. Light, night. Are they rhyming? Are they rhyming? Are they rhyming?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are rhyming. So that is called as A and A. Okay. A, very good. Then free and C. Are they rhyming? So what is the this we have to give for them alphabet? B and B. So what is the rhyming scheme of the first paragraph? Very good. What is the rhyming scheme of the second paragraph? Call all. Huh? Call all A. Drives lives. A. Very good. So now you understood what is the rhyming scheme? Okay. So next let us move ahead. Now here parts of speech. First I said personification. Now what is personification? It personification is to give human qualities to imitate animate objects. Okay. Now here personification. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn. Now all of you mute your systems and don't talk, just listen carefully. Look at the board or the screen. Okay, here personification is given human qualities to animate objects. Now here was here the personification. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn. Now look here, the wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn. So the wind is compared to child. To what it is compared? It's given a quality of a child, that is asleep. The wind is given a quality of asleep. Does the wind sleeps? Does the wind sleeps? No. So a human quality is given to wind. So it is a personification. Okay? Okay. Now simile, comparing two unlike things, that is often introduced by like or as. So you have also learnt in your classes what is simile. Cool as a cucumber. It's a simile? Yes. So simile is always in the between there is like or as. Okay. It's easy to understand. Simile, comparing two unlike things, that is often introduced by like or as. Now see the simile here. The wind is compared to a child. The wind is compared to what? Child. So it is a simile. Okay. Now metaphor. Now metaphor and simile are somewhat similar, but you have to understand only this much. In metaphor also it will be comparing two things, but without using like and as. There is no like and there is no as. Okay. Metaphor in which a word or a phrase literally denoting one kind of object or idea is used to place in place of another to suggest a likeness between them. So here the metaphor is she is our mother. Okay, it's not compared by using like and as, but she is our mother. So it's a metaphor. She is compared to mother without using as or like. So the children, already we have seen the rhyming scheme of the poem. You all have understood the rhyming scheme of the poem. Now, this is one activity. Okay. Shall we do this activity now? Do you have a notebook in front of you? You can write in your English notebook also. Leave some pages and write activity 1. Now you are going to do one activity. Now see the activity, dear children. Look at the activity here. Please do not talk. Look at the activity here. What is this? C. Okay. Now C. Looking at the C, all these words are connected with C. Can you see the round words? Those are there. Rounded. They all connected with the sea. Sea, tsunamis, okay, storm, bay, OH, waves, tide, seagull, island. Still words you can give me? Rivers, ponds. Yeah? Can you give me still words? Huh? Okay. So now what is your activity? In place of C, in the place of C, what are you going to write there, you know? What are you going to write there? Wind. Okay, wind. Now, if I give a word here, wind, now you are going to do the activity in your book now. Write the word wind and write the words. Tell me, can you tell me some words for winds? Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. Tornado, then breeze. Give small, simple words also. No, air, environment. Yes. Breeze, cyclone. Yes. Tell me somebody saying ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. Yes. Yes. This is activity. You're going to write activity. Yes. Not rough book, Baba. Take your English book. In that only you're going to write this. Okay. Yeah. I now instead of C, I'm giving you a word wind. 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 Okay. So now you tell me words related to wind. Tell me the words related to wind, dear children. Storm, breeze, air. Breeze is done. Finished. Completed. Next, next. Storm is done. Storm is done. Hurricane, okay. Yes. Hurricane, okay. Yes. Yes. Thunder, then. What? Okay. So, if I give you another word, now what? First I give you wind. Tell me of sky. Okay, clouds, blue. Yes. Next. Aeroplane, okay. Helicopter, okay. The stars. Stars. Rocket, okay. Stars. Planets. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. So nice. It is. Yes. All are very correct, dear children. All of you are right. So, what are you going to do? You're going to do this activity today into your books. You're going to write these 3 words. Which are the 3 words you're going to write? Wind, sky, land. Okay. See the question here. Write as many words as you can. Wind, wind, sky, land. Written? Okay. Wind, sky, and land. Fair book only, Baba. At the end, you can just write activity and you write there. Today's date you write. Yes. Yes, yes. 1 minute, I'll tell you later on. Write as many words as you can related to the following. You should have at least 12 words each. So, when you're going to write these words, at least you have 12 words. So if you want more words, you can refer to the geography textbook or other sources for that purpose and try to find English words, items for the one that you have already written. So that is what is already written. You're going to write still more words. Okay? Uh, okay, just mute your systems. Mute your system for a minute. Nobody's going to talk.
Ma'am, in starting of class, where book?
I'll tell you, hold on. Okay, just mute your systems. And nobody's going to talk, okay?
Ma'am, first lesson reference to context question answers we should write.